to the link for pages, okay, to find the videos. If you're interested in doing that, if you think that would help you. The other thing to jot down is Monday, September 24th. If you're able to do that, would like to do that, I really need 3 people to do that. So check your schedules at home. We'll jot that date down on the 24th, and I will check with you on Monday or Tuesday. See who can do that. Okay, so where are we?
Everywhere got to be dark grove of
No,
trees.
we ended in like one.
Dark grove of trees.
Duck Grove.
Cheese.
66.
Page 31, right? Page 31. And we had this island. Right, with the sides jutting forward, right? Forming this natural harbor. He had said that there were scopuli, that there were soxa, maybe. I don't know if he said soxa or not, but there were certainly scopuli.
The high rocks.
There are high rocks
Twin
all
rocks.
around, threatening, literally hanging over, forming a backdrop, forming a skyna. There was Silwai Koruskai. There were green trees, right? So we got trees, we got rocks there. And right, we left off in 165. Horentiquatrum nemos imminent umbra. A nemos, an atrum nemos, a dark grove, right, small woods, a dark grove, imminent, well, it can mean threatened. If something is imminent, it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. It's literally, it's looming over you. It's hanging over you. It's threatening. So this dark grove is kind of a little bit scary, maybe. It's threatening just a little bit with horrenti umbra. With horrenti umbra. With well, some kind of shadow. I want to get that horrenti exactly right. Horreo, horrero. Shuddering or bristling. Okay. So the word horreo, to bristle, is obviously the root of horror. And you think about something that is a horror, or that is horrible, is literally that which causes the hair to stand up on your arms and on the back of your neck. Literally causes you to bristle. That's really the idea behind horror. Are you supposed to take an exam?
I did.
You already did?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Why don't you erase your name then? Stop confusing me. All right. And erase from, be careful now, erase from J. Smith vocab, erase the vocab, and erase from Nia Hayes the vocab also. Outstanding.
You scared me there, 'cause I was like, oh my gosh, there's another one that we didn't take.
Yeah, well, scared me too. Bristling shadow. Fronte subadversa scopolis pendentibus antrum. Now, subadversa fronte, underneath or kind of at the base of the adversa fronte,
The top.
The opposite.
the opposite face. All that means, and of course, we've been looking at this right from, this is a bird's eye view. Okay, this is a bird's eye view of the island, right? We're talking about this area here. So as the ships, right, they're coming in this way, right? So what they're facing is the front of the island, the froms, and it is literally adversa. It is opposite them. Okay? So sub at the bottom of this opposing face of the island, there is an antrum.
Okay.
There's a cave, and again with scopolis pendentibus. With overhanging rocks. Now, just pause for a moment, look at lines 132, or I'm sorry, 162 through 166. Pick it up in 162. What are rupes? Cliffs. What are scopoli in the next line? The high rocks again. And what are scopolis in 166? Same word, right?
Yeah.
So we've got 3 references to the rocky cliffs in the space of 5 lines.
So this place rocks.
This place rocks, exactly right. We've got a reference to Silwai in line 164. What's that?
Forest.
We've got a nameless in 165. What's that? A grove, which is the same basic thing. We've got Minamtor up in 162, which means what? Threatening. We've got imminet in 165, which is a Latin derivative of the Latin word, so it's the same basic word again. And a reference to horrenti. So in a space of 6 lines, it gives a very densely packed image. It is dark. It is somewhat threatening. There's no question as far as Virgil goes. This is a complete creation of his mind. We talked about this before. And I don't know. I mean, I think as you're sailing up to this, I mean, I don't know, does this look good to you? Does this look bad to you?
Yeah, that looks great.
Looks bad and strong.
Well, I
Other
mean,
than that.
it's like they don't have a choice, so I mean,
On one hand, you've been beat up by a storm. You got to land and get yourself together. So on one hand, it looks good for that. On the other hand, man, there's a lot of scary imagery here. And so whether this is good or bad, we don't know. And the Trojans don't know. But they're going to have to land there anyhow. Intus, turn page, aquae dulces, we voque sedilia saxo, nympharum domus. Now things may be looking a little bit better. Intus. We're talking now in the harbor here. What's intus?
Within.
Deep within this harbor are aquae dulces. Sweet.
Fresh water.
Fresh waters. There you go. Sweet waters. Now, first off, notice there's no verb. All right, so don't get bent out of shape about that. Deep within sweet waters. Okay, we'll put in the word are. There are sweet waters. Right, when in doubt, put your own verb in. BYOV. Sweet waters. You said fresh waters, Marcus. Why? What's that what the book said?
Well, no, I mean, but like, sweet, that's what I imagine, like, the salty ocean. But, I mean,
Exactly, that's exactly what it is. It's in
Yeah.
contrast with the salt water of the ocean. Now you've kind of got this nice sweet water, some fresh water, obviously maybe some drinking water. And there are sedilia in the Wiwo Saxo.
And benches.
There are benches, yeah, little seats, right? Sedes is a seat, and this kind of the vowel L, right, is a diminutive, so there's little seats, like little benches in the Wiwo Saxo, in the living rock. Okay, now here I think you're far, the editor did a good job for you. What does he suggest that Wiwo might mean here?
You mean the living rock?
Yeah, what does he mean? In the natural rock. In other words, the waters have eroded little grooves, little benches, basically little places to sit. Yes?
Don't we use that phrase now, like a living mountain with a living stone or something?
I gotta be honest, the only thing I can think of is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I know I've seen it
talking
somewhere.
about living shrubbery.
Well, no, I'm talking about, let's see.
Yeah, what? I'm not good at
I
this.
vaguely
I believe it's right around the terrorizing bunny rabbit, the killer rabbit, and I believe that the old guy, the
Tim?
magician, Tim the Enchanter,
Wait a minute.
tells them that, I think he tells them that the location of the Holy Grail is carved with runes in the living stone. And they have to go and discover that. But he references something about the runes being carved in the living stone.
Oh, okay.
And they go and of course, they translate, here are the last remains of Joseph of Arimathea. They start translating and the guy goes, ah. I can't remember what it says. What is it? He goes, ah. Well, maybe he died while writing it, He's like, well, he wouldn't have bothered to carve if he was dying, now would he? Anywho, and in here, he's like, no, it's not, it's more from the back of the throat. Anyhow, a little note, hey, Adrian, every once in a while, just wave around and remind me that I'm on camera. Before I start, going into goofball stuff like that, just a little high sign to me. Remind me that I'm on camera.
But you mentioned the Monty Python. You have to hear that. It's Monty Python.
No, yes. Yes, right here. Okay, so there's little benches there. It is the Domus Nympharum, the home of the nymphs. So all this seems rather threatening, right? Seems rather foreboding. But then you realize, as you get into it, there's these sweet fresh waters. There are places to sit down, which of course, if you're the Trojans right now, you'd love a place to sit down after what you've been through. It is the very home of the nymphs.
I would love a nymph right now. Right now.
On camera. They know who you are.
Okay, we won't say who said that.
Christian.
I'm not saying who said that. Hic fessas non vincula naves, ula tenent, unco non allegad ancora morsu. Hic is not hic, here it is hic. So what does it mean?
Here.
Here, non ula vincula. Ula is actually a very important word, and it's unfortunate we don't know it better than we do. Ulus ula means.
I know, wait,
I'm sorry, but where do you see this word?
It's the next line. Ula. First word of the next line.
not any.
Not any. Not any vincula. I'm going to come back to ula in a minute. Not any vincula.
Bonds.
Not any bonds or chains. There you go. Not any chains tenant the fessas naves.
Hold the easiness.
Hold the.
Oh,
You gotta catch your mind off it.
Tired ships.
Hold the tired ships. Not any chains.
I'm sorry, it's like my subconscious is doing things right now.
I gotta say, that one,
Tired ship.
that's another one that's gonna stick in the mind, and years from now I'm gonna be teaching a class. Guess how a kid translated this line once?
And about this is on YouTube. He's going to send the internet.
Yeah, right. Not any chains hold the tired ships. And ancora non allegat,
And no anchor. Hook anchor?
no anchor, allegat,
Oh,
Held down.
binds with unco morsu,
flute?
with a curved morsu, with a curved bit, okay?
Bite.
Let's talk about what this means. If you've got ships that don't need to be anchored, ships that don't need to be held in place by chains, what does that tell you about the condition of the water here?
It's very calm.
It's very calm. You don't have to worry about the ships floating away. This is what the guys want, okay? Several things to say about this. One, I would draw attention to the fact that this is this beautiful natural setting. And you contrast that with vincula, you contrast that with ancora. These are man-made things, right?
Okay.
And the whole point of the vivo saxo. All of this is kind of this primeval, blissful paradise sort of a place. No man-made stuff was here. You don't need man-made stuff to live here or to be here. This is what you want when nature has just beaten you up. Now nature is going to treat you well, and you don't have to control nature. Nature's going to take care of you. The ula thing, all right? It really is worth memorizing these adjectives. Nullus. I'm sorry. Let me start off with that. Unus. Nullus. Ulus. Solus. Neuter. Alter. Uter. Totus. And alius.
We got this.
If you notice the first letters of those, they spell out what?
One sailor.
Unus nauta, one sailor. It's even grammatically correct, right? Nauta is a first declension masculine, and unus is the masculine adjective, one sailor. Those adjectives all share something in common. What they share is ius, or the genitive singular, and I, or the dative singular. Okay? They all have that in common. Now, some of those words you've seen certainly a lot. Unus, of course, is one. Ulus is any. Nullus is the negative form of that, so none. Okay, so ulus and nullus, I would say, are certainly worth knowing. Solus, what's that, obviously? Only or alone. Neuter is neither. Neither. Okay? Right. Exactly. Alter is the other. And you really want to contrast that with alius. Alius is simply another. Another is just one more out of however many. The other means you're talking about one of two. Okay, so I've got two books here. I want the other one. Okay.
Wait, so Totus is the other? Sorry,
What's that?
Which one is the other?
The other is
Oh,
alter.
okay.
Alius is other or another.
Okay.
Uter is each, and totus is whole or all, or something like that. Okay? So they got a nice place. By the way, do you notice the thing about derivative from alligat?
Alligator?
Alligator, sure. There's alligator. And that's what the anchor does. It bites.
Yeah,
It bites into the sand to hold the ship.
Is Winkalum from Winko?
It is not. It is from winkio. It's the fourth conjugation. Winkio, winkira, which means to bind.
Oh.
Which means to bind. And I can't think of any derivatives off the top of my head. Thank you. Huc septem Aeneas collectis navibus omnix numero subit. Ah. Ah.
There.
Hook hither, thank you. Because notice that heek is here, hook is hither. Hook is to this place. Hither, Aeneas subit. Aeneas, okay, now, remember this. Sub as a prefix, usually not. Up. Sub as a preposition means under. As a prefix for a verb, it usually makes the verb mean something up. The idea being, to go up, you have to come up from a lower or underneath place. Okay?
Like thrown up is subiaco, right?
That's right.
Okay, that's just
That's right. Yes, there's a great thing is if you're going to throw up, you are usually under the well, and that's what causes you to throw up. There you
right,
go.
right, of course, yeah.
There you go.
Right.
There's a slogan for our shirts. It's not a day without vomit. That would be a great slogan. Oh, right. Camera's on, right. Okay. Not a day without vomit. All right. Hither, Aeneas, basically he drives up septem, 7, out of the omni numero. Out of the whole number. I tell you what, let's grab the ablative absolute first. With his navibus collectis, with his ships collected, brought together, he brings up 7 out of the omni numero. out of the whole number. What we know at this point in the story, we don't know how many ships he had when he started, but obviously he had more. He had some number of ships more than that, and out of the whole number, he's now got 7 left. And Virgil hasn't told us how many he had originally, but obviously this suggests there must have been some significant loss if he's only got 7 left. Ac magno tellurus amore egressi optata potiunter troes arena. I want to take a look at that line and a half carefully, line 171, 172. I want to know, first of all, where's the subject and the verb in 171, 172? Where's the subject and the verb? Danielle?
Is it Trojans?
Good.
Is it
The Troes, good.
And then,
Where's the verb?
is it Yeah.
Potiunter. Trojans, potiunter. Now, where in those line and a half is there an adjective or a participle specifically that could modify Troes? Is there
No.
that's a participle, but it couldn't modify Troes. Egressi. Egressi is coming from egredior.
Comes out.
Okay, now let's think about this. We said way back when, very end of first year, reviewed and expanded in second year. With regard to participles, you got your active, you got your passive. Now, where did we always put a big X? We said that there were some participles that did not exist. No present passive and no future active exists. Perfect active. We already said those two didn't exist. We're going to modify that statement a little bit. Look at me in that tone of face. Caitlin Walter. All right.
I bet as soon as the people watch this video, they're gonna be like, ah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The perfect active participle really does not exist for the vast majority of Latin verbs. Any regular Latin verb, it does not exist. However, for deponent verbs, it does. Because think about it. Deponent verbs look what and translate what? Look passive and translate active. So when you get something that looks like a perfect passive participle from a deponent verb, it's actually going to translate like a perfect active participle. So egredior, egredi, egressus means to what? Well, just give me the basic definition of egredior. To disembark. So having disembarked, right? Having gone out, all right? Certainly gives us a good word, egress. And certainly safety people, firefighters in particular, will often talk about, now we kind of use casual terms, we'll talk about, you know, the exit or the door or something. And usually people in safety profession, they'll refer to the point of egress, basically where are people able to exit the building safely or something like this. Yes?
Do you use a story about the, it was like one of those old freak shows, like where there was like people and this and stuff at. And it's like they'd have a sign to try and get people to leave. They'd have a sign, come see the great egress, and be a picture of like an ostrich. They wouldn't know what it was, so they'd go and they'd find the exit.
Oh, that's hilarious. They think it was an egress. That is really funny. Yes?
You said that we didn't know how many ships he had, right?
It said in the
When
book
they started
something.
out, it said 20 in the book. Is that
No,
right?
it didn't.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did.
Flatline
Look-
cur dog.
look at
What?
these- Look at 31. On the bottom.
What?
Yeah.
About a
It
what?
tells us
31
like,
on the bottom.
I love how the sense of me.
Like 330, it says
It says 7 out of 20
343.
ships land on the coast of North Africa near Carthage.
Yeah. I saw that, but I thought.
Now, who's going to be the genius to point out to these people, what line number does that say that information is in?
343.
What line are we on right now?
160 something.
As I said, we do not know at this point how many ships.
You made it seem like we will never know.
I didn't say we would never know. I simply said we don't know at this point.
I feel like
It's
I
coming
never
up.
know.
You're just covering yourself.
It's coming up later. No, it's coming up later.
Lies. And I don't
You're
believe
no
you.
longer a valid Latin teacher. You don't know there's 20 ships. Come on. Like, Obviously.
It's on tape.
This is my farewell performance.
It's on tape.
I can tell you right now.
Like the Aeneid, the 20 ships. It's rough.
Virgil deliberately doesn't tell us that for a reason. We're going to find out in line 343.
Rough translation.
Is it 343?
340.
It's so
Book
far
one, or
away.
393. We're going to find out in a couple hundred lines.
Have you ever heard the expression of count your ships until,
Until you hatch.
until they arrive at the island of Nips?
All right. All right. There were 26 sheep. One died. How many are left?
25.
Well, you don't know.
26. 25.
Why is it so complicated?
It's
Just
just
25, guys.
It's 25
living
This
sheep.
for 26 though.
There was some 26 sheep on the
There's 26 sheep.
Are they all-
19.
Why? Because there's 26 sheep.
That's what I said. There were 26 sheep.
They're ill. They're not
One
well.
died. You heard 26 in your mind, but the answer is, I said there were 26 sheep.
Oh.
One died. There are 19.
Really? That's like the oldest one ever.
Really, I hadn't heard that until today, the last period. Who told that?
I'm not
Somebody said, or Connor Smith. Connor Smith told me.
Like,
Okay, here we go. Back to business. The Trojans, having exited or departed, they potiunter.
Game?
They gain possession of. All right, now we really do need to look at this verb. Potior. Well, okay. Not so much, I was going to say something else. Never mind. Never mind. They gain possession with magno amore tuluris. With a great love of the ground, they gain possession of the optata horena,
The desired
of the desired
arena.
beach or sand. So these guys have been wanting to see beach. They've wanted to see land. They see it now. They're so happy. They get off their ships, and you can imagine probably they're falling down. Some of them just dead exhausted. They're just happy to be there. And sane tabentes artus in litera ponent. And they ponent, mime, plain old definition of ponent. They put their artus, they put their limbs that are tabentis sale, dripping with salt water, in litera, on the litera, on the shore. Somebody tell me in that line, what does tabentis modify? It's a very good AP kind of question. What does tabentis modify? Artus, good. It modifies artus. Artus is an accusative plural. Tabentis or tabentes is an accusative plural. What declension must artus be? If it's fourth, very good, Rachel. And it's modified by a third declension present participle. Ad primum silicis scintillum excuded acantes suscepit quignum foliis ad quared a circum nutrimenta datum rapue quinfomite flama. Okay. Throughout the next three lines, I want you to have in your mind, and I simply do not have time to get a clip, maybe we'll do it on Monday or Tuesday, because we did our walkabout before. I want you to have in your mind Jimi Hendrix.
Love it.
Okay? I want you to have in your mind Jimi Hendrix on stage, on his knees. He's got his guitar laying out on the stage. He's got gasoline on it or whatever, and it's got flames coming up out of it, and Hendrix is coaxing the flames upward from his guitar. That's the image I want in your mind for the next three lines. The guy, very good. The main character in the next three lines is Achates. Who is that?
He's like right-hand man.
Right-hand man, and he is his armor bearer. Achates, it says. Ac prima. I thought I heard it. It's kind of a set phrase, ac prima. As soon as. As soon as he excuded scintillum silici.
He's struck out.
As soon as he struck a scintillum.
Piece of flint.
Well, silici is the flint. As soon as he struck something with a flint. A spark. As soon as he struck a spark with a flint. And notice, silici scintillum excuded. You got lots of these hard sounds. You can literally hear him striking the rock, right? As soon as he struck a spark with flint, and he then suscapit ignem.
And caught up.
Yeah, he basically he caught up an ignem with folies, a flame with foliage, with leaves, right? So he's got a little pile of dead leaves. He strikes his flint, catches a spark immediately. You've got your fire, and he dated Kirkham. He gave all around. He gave the fire arida nutrimenta. What a great poetic phrase. He gave arida nutrimenta. Dry
Fuel?
nourishment. Yeah, this is nutrition, right? He gave dry nutrition to the fire. What a great way to say it. What do you feed a fire with, right? It is that which is dry and brittle and so forth. And he rapuit in fomite flamma.
And he swirled.
He whirled up a flamma in fomite. A flame in the fomite. In the tinder. So this huge flame shoots up right away. Okay? If you've ever started a fire in your fireplace or grill or campsite or whatever, you know, if you first put in the little stuff, right, it flashes up real big, and then you want to catch the regular wood. And so there it is. He conjures up this flame. Is Jim Hendrix. Then, Cerrem corruptundis, cereale aquarma expediunt feci rerum, frugesque receptas et torrera param flammis et frangere saxa. Now, notice the verb shifts to expediunt and parant. What person and number are those verbs?
Plural.
They're plural. So we're no longer acantes as the subject. Who would be the implied subject here?
Trojan.
The rest of the boys. Yeah, the Trojans, the rest of the guys. They, feci rerum. Man, I know how they feel. Feci rerum. Yeah, tired of rerum. Tired of things. Man, just general, man, they're just tired of stuff.